Hello everybody. Today we're going to be going over Module 3 for Excel. We'll be covering starting on page Excel 52. What you see in front of you now is the Excel 3.1 that in your steps you will be opening up. I won't be doing the steps step by step, but I'll be giving you a view of what you're going to be learning in there. On page Excel 52, you learn about formatting values. Formatting values can be currency, it can be decimal points, it can be dates. Okay, those are probably the three that you're going to use most often. Let's look, for example, in column D, we have cost. That's money. So let's say we want to make it money. So we're going to highlight cell D4 to D32. Couple different ways that we can do this. The first, if we look up under the number grouping on the Home tab, see a dollar sign. If I just click on that dollar sign, it will change it to dollars. Now you may have noticed some of these were 3 decimal points. It rounds to the nearest penny. So now we have dollars on here. We can also use, again, decimal points. So see all these here, and row H are numbers. So if we highlight row H, we can again go to decimal points for the comma. So I will click on that, and you'll notice that it changed all to decimal point with what comma. Okay, and right here we can either increase the decimal or decrease the decimal. If I want to increase it, you'll notice now I built it out to 3 numerals after the decimal. If I want to decrease it, I can click on it once, it goes back to 2. Click on it again, it goes to 1. It's up to you. I can also highlight, again, here's money again, estimated costs and sales tax. Highlight the rows and columns and click on money, and it changes it to money again. I can also do dates. I can click on, let's say I want to change these dates to a different kind of format. I can highlight the rows. Now, I can also get to all these different things by highlighting, put my cursor over the highlighted area, right click, and then say Format Cells, choose Format Cells. And you'll notice I'll get a dialog box. Here's the numbering, here's the currency, which we use on the shortcuts up here. But it figures out that these are dates, so it gives me different date formats. So instead of this particular date format, maybe I want to use this format, March 14th, this particular one. So I can click on this one and say OK. And it's nice, you'll see that it automatically resizes the column, so we don't even have to worry about doing that. If I wanted to choose a different one, again, right click, Format Cells, and let's say I just want to choose this one. And now we're good with the dates. Okay, on page Excel 54, we are talking about changing font and font size. Pretty simple. It's the same way that we do it in Word. Let's say that I want to take my title up here. I want to make it larger, and I want to change the font. So right now, again, it's Calibria. Say I want to change it to Comic Sans MS. Type in Comic Sans. Here it is. So again, I've changed it to Comic Sans MS. Say I want it bigger. Again, 2 ways. One, I can do the increase font size, or I can click on the down arrow and choose my font size. I'm just going to go with 22. Now, on something we talked about last time, again, remember cell A1, it goes all the way over here to G1. This is where we should merge our cells. Remember when we're going into extra cells. So I'm going to highlight all the way across, down arrow on merge and center, and choose merge across. So now it's made this one whole area again. It's made it into one cell. A1 to G1 is one cell. We can also change the font styles and the alignment. All right. Let's say I'm just gonna, I'm gonna merge it all the way over to J, to the end of my table, and I'm gonna merge across. And now again, I can change styles. I can make it bold. I can make it underline. And then if I want to, I can center it. So I can just go over here to center and click center. And now I have centered it inside that area. The same is true for, like, say I want to take my headings. I can take all my headings for my table. I'm going to make them just bold. So click bold, and I'm going to center them as well. And sometimes we might want to center some of our cells in here. Let's say I want to center everything in column E. So I highlight all the numbers in column E. And again, I can click on center, and it centers them. Sometimes, if you notice, numbers align to the right, but when we put in a dollar sign or an alpha number, an alphabet number, it goes to the left. So sometimes you have this 5 right next to the S. It kind of makes it somewhat hard to adjust. So your eyes to adjust to it. So sometimes it's better to center. On page Excel 58, it talks about adjusting the column width. If you look at column A, we have a lot of things here, but we can't see everything. Okay, the official word is truncated. You can't see everything, and generally we do want to see everything. Now, because there is data in column B, I can't merge like we did up here on the top. So I have to resize the entire column. Again, the easiest way to do that is just go up to between A and B. I get the line with the 2 arrows. Once I have that, simply double click. And you will see it perfectly auto fit that column to all the content that's in there. So again, that's the easiest way. I could also put my cursor here and I can manually do it and make it bigger. But again, if we double click, it gives us a perfect fit. On page 60, it talks about inserting and deleting rows and columns. All right. So let's say I've got nothing here in row or column I, and I want to get rid of it. I can just click on it and say delete. And you'll notice it's gone. Now, if I come up with all of a sudden, oh, maybe I do need that column for something, I'm going to put something in there. So again, click on column I, and now I'm going to insert, and you'll see that it puts there. The same thing for column, let's say I want to get rid of row 27. Generally, again, the best thing to do is either click on the number or click on the letter, so you're getting the entire row and the entire column. All right, that's the easiest way to do it. So now I can click on delete, and you'll notice it deleted that row. And again, remember, if you did something, you did the wrong row or something, you've always got your good old undo. Okay, on page Excel 62, it's about applying colors, patterns, and borders. So I'm going to go back up to my title. Okay, so I'm going to be in my big cell here from A1 to J1. That's all one cell. And let's say I want to add a background color. So again, my font grouping, fill color. Let's say I want to make it a light blue. So I can go over here and I can choose a light blue. Then, if I want to put a box around it, again, I'm going to click away. Notice there's no line box around it right now. So I'm going to go back into it. And again, just like the tables we did before, right now it's a bottom border. If I click the down arrow, it gives me all the different ones that I can choose from. So maybe I want to have a outside border. I want a thick outside border. I'm going to click on it. And you'll notice now I have a thick outside border around it. Okay. Do notice, though, that you're not going to visually see right here a thick line border or the top row like you do here and here. That's just because that's the top of the table. If I went to print this, you would see the lines there. Patterns. Okay, this is where we get into styles and patterns. Again, this is where I can point out again, like I've talked a couple times, newer versions of Excel. If you look in your book up here under the styles, you have conditional formatting, format as a table, and then in the book it has cell styles. It's a little thing that looks just like this. On the newer version, I've got the newest version right now. You may or may not have it. It's it's going to be different. Like I said, sometimes you just have to go with what you have. Okay, mine's a little bit different. Okay, I click on it and I get these different things that I can choose. Okay, so I can't do the pattern, not this way anyways. I can do it, but again, it's no big deal. If you run into a situation like that, again, don't knock yourself out trying to figure it out, okay? It may not be there. Just when you turn in your assignment, if it has you do this, in the Dropbox, when you're uploading your assignment, you have that area for notes. Just say, I didn't have that, okay? Or I didn't have that style, okay? And I won't take anything off because I know that can happen. And that at least tells me that you tried to do it because you knew it wasn't there, all right? So just keep that in mind. On page 64 is conditional formatting. Conditional formatting can be used to take an area on your chart, and I can find out all the values that are below something, all the values that are above something, or all the values that are between something. For example, let's say on my totals here, in column H4 to H31, I want to find all the values between 1,000 and 2,000. Okay, so to do that, I would go to conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, and I'm looking for a number between. I'm not looking for a number greater than or less than. I'm looking for between 1,000 and 3,000. So I'll click on between, and here I have to type in 1,000 and 3,000, and then I can choose the style. Do I want lead? Do I want light red fill, dark red text? Do I want green fill? Do I want light red fill, red text, red border? And I can make up my own. I'm just going to keep it with light red fill and dark text. Say OK. And now you'll notice everything between 1,000 and 3,000 is highlighted in red fill with red numbers. Now, let's say I wanted to find every number that was below 1,000. So again, conditional formatting, highlight rules, less than, and I'm just going to fill in 1,000 and say OK. So now here's all my numbers less than 1,000. So again, that is conditional formatting. Again, you can either find values that are above a number, below a number, or between numbers. Now, if we turn to page 66, that has us naming the tabs and naming and renaming or making the tabs a color or deleting a tab. If you look down here, right now our tabs, we have 3 tabs. Our workbook that we're working on has 3 worksheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, and sheet 3. Now, it doesn't make sense to leave them like that. That would be the equivalent of me making a class folder with all and giving you each an individual folder for you to get your work or something, and not putting your name on the tab, but putting student 1, student 2, student 3. Again, doesn't make sense. So what we have to do is name them so somebody else that can look at it can come and go, oh, that's what, here's Don Meyer's folder. I can find it. So to do that, we go down to sheet 1 and double click. Highlights it in gray. And again, remember, when anything that's highlighted in gray, black, or blue, it means just type. Now, this particular folder is expenses, advertising expenses. So I'm going to double click again, and I'm going to put expenses. Now, if I go to sheet 2, this is budgeted advertising expenses. So I'm going to click on it, and I'm going to put budget. Budgeted. Okay, now I go to sheet 3. Sheet 3 is empty. I don't need it. So again, what I can do is I can right click and say delete, and it's gone. So now I've got expenses tab, worksheet, and a budget worksheet. Now I can also change the color of the tab. So again, to change the color, put your cursor over the tab, right click, go to tab color, And I'm going to make this one green. Then I'm going to go to Expenses, right-click, Tab Color. I'm going to make this one yellow. Now, one thing you'll notice as I go back and forth between the two, notice how the budgeted right now is bright green, but if I click on it, the green very faint down here. What that's for is, say we have a workbook with like 10 tabs down here. All the ones with color will be bright. There will always be one that has the color ghosted. That's the tab you're working on. So it lets you know which tab you're working on. So I would know if I go to Expenses, now my Expenses tab is a ghosted color. That's the worksheet I'm working on. I can also move them around. Maybe I wanted the Budget tab to be first. To move a tab, all I have to do is click on it and drag it to the front. Notice how it has a piece of paper and there's a little arrow. Let go, and it's now in the front. If I wanted to move it in the back, same thing. Click on it, hold your mouse down, drag it to the end, and let go. And the last thing is on page Excel 68, it's spell check. Exactly the same way as Word. Just click the Review tab and check spelling. Make sure you complete it till you get to the spell check complete. You're good to go. Click OK. Make sure you save it one last time, and then you can close out of it and upload it. So that is everything that is in Excel Module 3. We'll talk to you later.